I have prepared here a small setup to check V-FET transistors. One setup is going to use the multimeter, the other one is going to use the PEAK Atlas DCA Pro DCA75, and there is some discrepancy in the results. So we are going to see what the results are for different VFETs. So the VFET that I have here is a 2SJ18 with a rank of 54. So I'm connecting the negative of the triplet model 630PL to the drain, I think, yeah, and then positive to the source, and I am reading right above 1.5 ohm on the triplet. Triplet is putting 1.56 volts across the terminals when it is at times 1, and I'm going to put 8 volts between the gate and the source, and we are going to observe how the meter is responding to that. So I'm going to just touch it and leave it. It went to almost 200 ohms, and it's recovering back to around 1.6 ohms now. So it recovered again. I barely touched it, and it's going back. It's taking some time, and it is right there. So I'm going to now disconnect it from here and go to DCA75 and just start connecting the leads in any fashion, which is not apparently important for this to operate. So I'm going to start testing. I don't know if the camera picks it, but it takes a while. It thinks, and it P channel JFET. It says blue G connection, VGS 9.1 volts. So this exactly generates 8 volts. So we didn't see it completely shutting down, and gives some other data as well. So this we know that it is good, because this was a VFET I found unused condition. So this is a VFET that DCA Pro doesn't like. Let's connect again this similar fashion, not paying attention to the leads, but we may end up connecting the same way. Let's see what it will say. It says red and green are shorted. Okay, that's a terrible thing to see on a DCA Pro when you are testing VFET, but is it really that terrible? So again, where is my ground? I got my ground from this triplet and connect it here, and it is showing me exactly the same 1.6 ohms. This is a rare case. It says 1.6 ohms. So I'm going to come and here touch. See, last time that I touched the real deal, it went all the way up and then slowly recovered. But when I just touch it, it just springs back. If I leave it connected, it drops to somewhere around 50 ohms. And when I leave it go, it recovers quite fast. Okay, is that the difference that we have to see? Let's pick another one. This is another VFET that came from an amplifier that I am restoring, and DCA Pro has problems with this thing too. So let's see. Red and green shorted, red and green shorted. It says source to drain short. Okay. Quickly I connect this the same way that we did with the other one. Now it's reading something like 1.23 ohms, 1.3 ohms. So I'm thinking that this is having some threshold around 1.5 ohm, but see, this is recovering a little bit faster than the new old stock component, but not as fast as the other one. So when I make a connection, then it's reading somewhere around 20 ohms. Bear in mind that this battery is not 9 volts exact, it's something like 8 volts. Now let's pick the one that I marked as good, that came off the amplifier. Let's see what it will say. The DCA Pro. There are only so many combinations of 3 test leads. Thinking that's a good sign. Voila. P channel J-FET. Red one is gate. Oh, it says green is source and blue is the 10 volts VGS, and all the good stuff comes from. So now let's see how this is going to behave now in our setup. Goes to here. It's measuring 1.5 ohms, and I'm going to come and touch, and it dropped barely above 20 ohms and it's recovering very slowly. Slower than the second arm of a analog watch at some points. If I close it completely, it drops to 50 ohms, which is similar to what we measured with the bad one. I don't know. So it is what it is. So if you know something, if you enlighten me in another way, just let me know. Thanks.